Hello everybody, it's the Eric Freeze, and let me try to do something about the lighting. Maybe that's better. I don't know what I was doing. Oh yeah, video response. So here's a video response to 1320 Kid, and he has I think a 16,000 BTU Frigidaire window air conditioner from I think like 2016. It's a really big air conditioner. It's really big. It's probably wider than that Lakewood box fan behind me. It's a big unit. Um, it's really big, but he's having an issue with it. This video took place about a few months ago, back when winter was around and it was really cold. But he got this unit and he put it in a room in the winter time that gets really hot due to a radiator. And he's having an issue where it gets up to its desired temp, and then when a temp kind of increases again, the compressor doesn't come back on to continue cooling, or it will continue cooling and not stop. I've seen that too, where the unit will continue cooling and it will continue cooling until it freezes over, but that's kind of rare. And there's also times when the unit cycles too much. I've had an issue at my friend's house down the road. He got two brand new Arctic King window air conditioners. They're 8,000 BTUs. They're fancy ones with computerized controls and Wi-Fi enabled. One of them is one of the black ones, and the other one's white. So he has them in both of the colors that they come in. And he had an issue out of the box where the white one, which is installed in the kitchen, would cycle way too much. It would come on and then off, and then on and then off. And then the black one, which was in the back bedroom upstairs, it would get really hot in there. And the unit would come on and cool the room down to like 60-some degrees, and then it would go back up to about 80 degrees or something in there, and the unit wouldn't kick back on. I also have a 2013 Keystone window air conditioner that a lot of you don't know about because it's at my father's house, but I'm not really too close to my father. He lives about an hour away. But his unit, that unit I have over there, it has an issue where it cycled way too much. But back before, when we moved into that room, the unit ran perfectly fine. And then after it got full of furniture, it would start cycling. And then last year, it started having the problem where it would not, where it would actually stay on and then freeze over the coil. And yeah, and then I have to manually do a defrost of it, putting a heater in front of it. Like, get a heater and I set this heater in front of it and do it all up in its face. It's kind of hard. This heater is actually supposed to go over there, but because I have a heater I use over here, this one which you've seen in some of the film videos, the old Arvin, but yeah, whatever that is and all that kind. But this is a simple issue. YouTube user JK18 has I think a 16,000 or 14,000 BTU GE made by Samsung in his garage. His garage is uninsulated. It's a single car garage. The unit's oversized, but because it's uninsulated, the unit's the right size. So that's pretty good. But his unit has an issue, had the same issue where it would go on and cool down the room to the desired temperature. Then it would get hot in there and it would not cycle back on. And the issue is between the filter and the front grill. Actually, I have the front grill over here, and I'll grab that for you so you can see what I'm talking about. We have this right here, which is our front grill for our window air conditioner. The filter, we have this thing here, and then behind it, we have the filter, and then right after this filter, like right along this area is where the coil sits. In between here and the coil and the filter, like right along here, it's more close to the coil, is the thermocouple. I honestly know everyone here, or the person I'm making this video response to, definitely knows what a thermocouple is. But the issue with that thermocouple is it's having to do with heat constantly going in, or air recirculating by the coil, keeping it too cold, or the current of airflow constantly passing by it, making it cold, which is usually the deal. It's a number of things that this could do, but there's one solution for all of these problems that I mentioned that works sometimes. And it is behind this coil, the thermostat, that a constant airflow going through it keeps the thermostat cold. It doesn't recognize the heat. Let's move that vent louver out of the way. And won't recognize the heat that's going by it. All it feels is the cool breeze of air blowing by it into the evaporator fan. It blows it, runs it through a propeller, and blows out these vents into your room. And it will get hot, but there's still a constant stream of airflow, and it has to get really hot, like above 80 degrees in that room in order for it to trip. But I don't think the Frigidaire unit that I'm addressing in this video it had that issue. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, that. So what we pretty much do is we're about 5 minutes in, I should probably set this solution quicker, is to remove this thermostat from this scenario. I actually tried this on the Keystone where I moved the thermostat couple. I undid it from the board, ran it in front of the filter between the filter and the front grill. It didn't work. So what I did was I undid the thermocouple all the way and notched a little hole here in the case, had the thermocouple kind of just like poking out here at the side of the case, just kind of like this. The thermocouple just kind of sit there and kind of analyze the air. I did this to that Arctic King, to actually both of those Arctic Kings, and it fixed both of them. I also did this to the Keystone, and it fixed that too. So this is what JK18 did to his GE, and I found that this worked pretty good. Now, this is only an issue really on digital units. On the standard analog, like what this one would have been with the little controls and stuff here, like the knobs out of turn. But if you had like the fancy computerized controls that look like a freaking calculator, this would affect that. But on one of these, I'm pretty sure your standard thermocouple is not as sensitive as a little temperature probe or thermocouple thing. Some of the old units had a crazy way of sensing air and all of that kind. Like the unit that grill would have been off of, which unfortunately saw us at death. Rest in peace, 1989 Mechanical Zone. But that's not what I was trying to say. So pretty much just taking out, so the thermostat measures the ambient temperature is a good thing to do. Now, one thing, in Kid 13 and 20's video, I think that's what I mean, is I wrote it down. Kid, let me see, I wrote this down. 1320 Kid, this video. He mentioned that he used to have a sharp comfort touch above a radiator. Now, if you put the little thermocouple underneath that and the radiator always has constant heat, this would not work. You would be better off just moving the unit away from the radiator, or your room will get too cold and then the unit will freeze up. And that's honestly probably what happened to that sharp comfort touch that he had a few videos back. That did that same thing. It was because there was constant heat going into the unit. Thermocouple was continuing feeling that heat. It had nothing to do with any outside air. Maybe a little bit if it was below 10 degrees Fahrenheit, then it would start affecting the outside unit. But there's times that the unit can't keep up, and that's pretty much just what happened there. The Freon was just still going through, and it was chaos. Freon freezes, compressor kicks out, unit kicks out, all that kind, and poof, no more air conditioning. So, like I said, you're better off having the unit away from the radiator. So he did do a good thing by moving the unit away from the radiator, but now they're still now he's having a thermostat issue. So, like I said, take the all you have to do is undo your front grill, like this. You see the coil behind here, thermocouple mounted to it, undo all of its wires, kind of have it coming out like where the power cord is, and then put your front grill back on, and you should be all set. You just have another little thing kind of sticking out here next to your power cord, which will be your thermocouple sensor thingy. And like I said, I found out how it works. And this doesn't just work with when it's having a problem. I said in the video, if the unit's cycling way too much, it will do the same thing. If the unit's getting a room too cold, it'll probably do the same thing, unless if there's a heat source under it, it'll just make it worse. And then if the unit has, like I said in the video, where it will reach the desired temp and then not come back on to cool again because there's too much cold air passing by it from the generation from the fan or whatever, it will also do the same thing. So hopefully that would be able to help you Like I said, this doesn't happen to all climates. This usually happens if the unit's oversized or undersized for a room. Usually cycling happens when the unit's undersized, and where it reaches the desired temp and stays there, and the compressor doesn't cool, that's usually when the unit's oversized for a room. So, just thought I should say that, because that's usually something I see. Sometimes you can get away with having an oversized unit in a room that's really small if there's a constant amount of heat coming in, which kind of surprised me in that instance in the video I saw. So, just thought I should say. But thank you very much, and thank you very much for watching Keep the Breeze. And hopefully this would help you next year.